Hi there, Josiah David Fenmore back with another chapter in Mark chapter 5. We're going a little bit back and forth from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and we are in the New Testament right now. Mark chapter 5. And they came over unto the other side of the sea, unto the countryside of Gardens. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met with him of the tombs a man in an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broke in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. And always night and day he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped him, and cried out with a loud voice, saying, What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God, that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, What is thy name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was there nigh unto the mountain a great herd of swine feeding. And all the devils besought him, saying, Send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. And forthwith Jesus gave them leave. And the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000, and were choked into the sea. And they that fed the swine fled, and told it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what it was that was done. And they come to Jesus to see him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legion, sitting and clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. And they that saw it told them how it befell to him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coasts. And when he was come into the ship, he that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him. Howbeit Jesus suffered him not, but saith unto him, Go home to thy friends, and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and hath had compassion on thee. And he departed and began to publish in Decapolis how great things Jesus had done for him, and all men did marvel. And when Jesus was passed over again by ship unto the other side, much people gathered unto him, and he was nigh unto the sea. And behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogues, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet, and besought him greatly, saying, My little girl, my daughter, lieth at the point of death. I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, and she shall live. And Jesus went with him, and much people followed him, and thronged him. And a certain woman which had had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing better, but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus, immediately knowing of in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press, and said, Who touched my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, Thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me? And he looked around about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him, and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace, and be whole of thy plague. While he yet spake, there came from the river of the synagogue's house certain which said, Thy daughter is dead. Why troublest the master thou further? As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he saith unto the ruler of the synagogue, Be not afraid, only believe. And he suffered no man to follow him, save Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. And he cometh to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and seeth the tumult, and them that weep, and wailed greatly. And when he was come in, he saith unto them, Why make ye so this ado, and weep? The damsel is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed at him to scorn. But when he had put them all out, he taketh the father and the mother of the damsel, and them that were with him, and entereth in where the damsel was laying. And he took the damsel by the hand and said to her, Talitha cumi, which is being interpreted, Damsel, I say unto thee, arise. And straightway the damsel arose and walked, for she was out of the age of 12 years. And they were astonished with a great astonishment. And he charged them straitly that no man should know it, and commanded that something should be given her to eat. Woo! That is powerful. Jesus just making progress here, there, everywhere, healing people, even people that he was not meaning to heal. That woman with the blood disease is a heavy story. You know, Jesus is on his way to heal a sick little girl, and she's probably thinking, you know, I don't want to stop him and take up his time. I mean, everybody needs Jesus, and I'm just trying. I know that if I just have faith to touch the hem of his cloak, then I'll be healed. And Jesus felt that faith and that power so much so that he stopped and turned around and was like, who touched me? He's like, I felt the power come out of me, you know. And she threw herself in front of him and said, you know, it was me, Lord. You know, I dealt with this blood sickness for so long. And he said, your faith has made you free. Your faith has made you well, whole. And that is such a cool story. And then goes to finish his first mission with Jairus in Jairus' home, healing his daughter. And he told the mourners and the wailers, you know, she's asleep. What are you doing? You know? And they're like, no, they laughed him to scorn, it says. And so he sent them all out. and he healed her, and he lifted her up, told her to rise. And she rose and was healed and whole. Jesus just making a difference. So many lives. He touched so many lives. I heard somewhere that if all the things were written down that Jesus did, there would be just so many volumes. The world couldn't hold the volumes of every single healing that the Lord accomplished. And so we get to just kind of bask in the glory of what was written down. You know, but I imagine being there would have been a whole other experience. You got people getting healed, multitudes of people getting healed there and here and being fed, and the eyes opening and the ears opening, and the palsy hand being made whole, and leprosy and blood conditions and everything, demon possession. And just, he is a generous God. That is my theme for this year, of God's generosity to me, to his people, in his word, through his word, to us. Good stuff. I'll see you on the next chapter. All right. Peace.